Hello and welcome to the video for this Saturday, July 13th main slate on Draftkings. We've got 11 baseball games tonight, so let's get started. At starting pitcher today, I'm not going to declare any one of these guys a must-play in cash games. Charlie Morton is priced high at 11.8K, but he's having a fantastic season and has a great matchup against the Orioles. Guys like Corbin, Boyd, and Bauer are also having good seasons and can be considered. I think that Chris Sale probably stands out the most at 10.5K, not because of the matchup, but because of the upside that he provides. And I know that his recent form hasn't been great, but I'm hoping the extra rest he got from the All-Star break has done his arm some good. If salary was not a thing, I would prefer Morton straight up for raw points, but I think that difference of 1.3K is useful for building the rest of your roster. Again, Sale certainly isn't a must-play, and I might end up changing my mind before lock, but as of now, he is my SP1 in my rough draft lineup. For SP2 in cash, I think you can look to a guy down here like Julio Teheran or even a Zach Davies. Both teams struggle against right-handed pitching, and they're both priced down enough to where as long as they don't get really blown up, they should return enough value for us tonight. So moving on to the bats, catcher. Catcher is weird for me tonight because it's usually a position where I prefer to punt, and the top option on the slate is usually a guy like Gary Sanchez or Yasmani Grandal, who are priced way too high because of position scarcity. But I think tonight there are actually multiple good hitting options at catcher on the slate. So there are four guys that I like, and I'll just list them from most expensive to least expensive. First one here would be Omar Narvaez. Second one would be Travis d'Arnaud. Third would be Kurt Casale. And last, it would be Chirinos at 3.3K. I think the price on Navarez probably takes him out of cash consideration, but he's definitely playable in a GPP. First base, I think it's a Murphy night. 4.3K in course against the so-so righty. I think he's probably just a clear cash play. Vogelbach for 100 less. I love against Harvey. I think he's the tournament pivot. I just really like the Mariners in general tonight as a team you can stack in GPPs. With the Coors game on the slate, I think you can gain some leverage in the field as a lower-owned stack. I will also mention, where is he here? Joey Votto in Coors Field. Lefty-on-lefty matchup might scare some people off, even though Freeland has been just beyond awful this year. And then I also think the last guy I'll mention is Brandon Belt. He's playable at 4K, getting a big park upgrade in Miller Park. Second base, it is Altuve. He's 3.6K in Texas against a lefty. Now, I know Minor's pitching really well this year, but I'm not going to overthink this one. I'm just going to lock him in at second base. But if you are looking for some GPP pivots, Whit Merrifield, he draws a tough matchup against Matt Boyd, but I think 4.2K is a very reasonable price tag. And I know it might be weird calling, Coors Field players tournament pivots, but I think guys like Ryan McMahon and Jose Peraza are absolutely viable. And there is one more guy that I'm going to mention at the next position, but he's second base eligible as well. Moving on to that next position, third base. If you have the salary, I think Suarez is one of the top guys in the entire slate. Love his matchup in Coors against Freeland. And if you need to save the $400, Arenado on the other side of that game, never a bad idea to roster him at home. If Bregman cracks the lineup tonight, I know he's going through some concussion issues. I still think he'd be in a good enough spot. Then the guy that I alluded to previously was, all the way down here, 2.7K, Mike Brosseau. He started game 1 of today's doubleheader. Just make sure that he's in the lineup tonight for game 2. Shortstop. Trevor Story, top option if you have the money. I also mentioned Bregman and Peraza already. They can also fit in at shortstop. And then I also think that Paul DeJong is a solid choice at the position. That's all I really have here. I know it sounds like I'm skimping on short, but I really do think you should condense your player pool here. And then in the outfield, it's all of the usual suspects. It's the Coors Field guys like Blackmon, Dahl, Puig, and Senzel. It's also Mike Trout against LeBlanc. I also really like his teammate Justin Upton. Every single one of those guys is in play for cash. If you do want some GPP pivots, Acuna, 4.7K against the lefty, is in that weird price range around these guys. He should be low owned. And then I also think you can look to a Ryan Braun at 3.8K, a Lorenzo Cain at 3.6K. Historically, they've hit lefties very well, and Bumgarner isn't quite the same guy that he was in his prime. So that about wraps it up for tonight's video. If you like this content, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Also hit me up on Twitter. My handle is clutch_DFS. I've also added that in the description below. That's it, and good luck in your